From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Augusta McDonnell. Controversy swirling this afternoon over a proposed land swap in the Bull Mountains south of Roundup. That deal, which could ultimately prevent the closure of the Signal Peak mine, comes at the expense of environmental concerns. Among them, allegations that this legislation is an attempt to get around a 2023 federal court hearing to keep the Signal Peak mine afloat. MTN's David J. takes a closer look at that debate and what's at stake.
The Crow Revenue Act would transfer thousands of acres of mineral rights here in the Bull Mountains from the United States to a private trust. The Crow tribe would also be involved in some of those transactions, and they tell us that the potential bill would help keep the mine open.
The Crow tribe wins as well as the mine stays open.
Montana Senator Steve Daines calls this a win-win deal, but the Crow Revenue Act, a land swap centered on mineral rights in the Bull Mountains, is a complicated one, and it already has environmental groups and others raising red flags.
They are trying to avoid having to comply with environmental laws, and it's shady at best.
Here's what is being proposed. If approved, the bill would transfer about 4,500 acres of federal mineral rights in Musselshell County to the Hope Family Trust. In exchange, the Hope family, which currently owns more than 4,600 acres on private inholdings and mineral rights on the Crow Reservation, would transfer its mineral rights to the Crow tribe.
It's a complex transaction in order to accommodate the mine's desire to avoid having to comply with the law.
Ann Hedges is the Policy and Legislative Director for the Montana Environmental Information Center and one of the bill's most vocal opponents. She believes the legislation is an attempt to circumvent a 2023 federal court ruling which ordered the U.S. Office of Surface Mining, Reclamation and Enforcement to conduct an environmental assessment on its proposed expansion of the Signal Peak mine.
The ruling, in effect, would shut the mine down because they can't mine the private land without going through the federal land.
Yellowstone County Commissioners support the Crow Revenue Act and agree with Daines that it's a win-win for the economy and the Crow tribe.
The Crow tribe would get royalties off of that, and we would continue to have all those people employed.
We've got those important jobs in Roundup that we've got to protect. These are some of the best jobs, highest paying jobs, best benefits.
But Hedges argues at what expense?
And it's definitely not a good thing for those landowners who live in the area or who live downstream from where the water is going to be harmed.
Near Roundup, David J., MTN News.
I trust everybody had a first weekend of June was pretty nice for you. We did see some rain in the area. We do have more rain coming through. It's not going to be a big rainmaker with the system. Really, for some of us, the big story going to be the winds. We'll talk about that with the local forecast coming up. But first, what's going on across the U.S.? The 48s, portions of the Mississippi Valley, Southern Plains, excessive rainfall and severe weather are possible today. Parts of the west and southern Texas, increasing excessive heat risk potential through the middle of the week, and parts of the Central Plains and Middle Mississippi Valley. Severe thunderstorm threat kicks in tomorrow. So here comes that cold front making its way through, kicking up some showers and some thunderstorms. They're weaker in nature, but really the big story, the winds. We'll talk about timing and how strong they could be coming up in just a bit.
Downtown Billings was packed Sunday afternoon with folks celebrating the 100-year anniversary of Native American voting rights in the United States. In 1924, Congress enacted the Indian Citizenship Act. MTN's Haley Monaco has more.
As one Billings family walked in the celebratory parade marking the 100th year of the Indian Citizenship Act, they held a sign with the words "Anaya" and her big fight to live. As the celebration was in full swing, Amanda Boyer could be found walking at the end of the parade with her family on a mission to help save a life. Her 20-month-old granddaughter, Anaya, is who they are walking, dancing, and praying for.
Her Lakota name is Little Hummingbird Girl. She is in ICU and she is fighting for her life.
What first started as a swollen arm quickly turned into the fight for her life. The baby girl was found to have a blood infection that spread to her lungs, resulting in her being flown to Denver 2 weeks ago.
What Denver said was that she is the youngest that they have seen with this blood infection.
Boyer and her family are trying to raise money to help with expenses, but she is no stranger to not only facing but overcoming adversity.
I come from such a loving community.
In 2021, Boyer graduated from Yellowstone County Treatment Court.
What I've experienced here, is is we lift each other up and we're there for one another.
Persevering through the challenges, she now runs a successful business, which could be seen following closely behind the family during the parade.
I'm a food truck owner, and we're a community here in Billings. And, you know, I've been asking my community for help. You know, the food trucks came along to be behind us and to show strength and community and unity in this with my family.
Support in the fight to live.
Nancy, pray for Naya. Naya will make it.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
A former Billings West High graduate has died in the line of duty as an officer with the Gila River, Arizona Police Department. Officer Josh Brees, originally from Billings, was shot and killed while trying to break up a disturbance with several other officers early this weekend. This happened in the Gila River Indian community. Brees' father, Dave, was a Yellowstone County deputy and also died in the line of duty. He was killed in a crash on November 3rd of 2006. Josh had been with the department for less than a year and was still going through field training. Another officer was also shot but survived. The Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office and the Billings Police Department both sent out their condolences to the family, and all of us at MTN send ours as well. And a Montana Highway Patrol trooper and union president has been fired. This is being called retaliation by the Montana Highway Patrol and the Department of Justice. The allegations come after Trooper Alicia Bragg shared a workplace climate survey summary with union staff. MTN's Allie Kaiser has more.
When did you start to kind of notice a shift in Highway Patrol?
The last few years, it's been a different rodeo. The last few years, just with communication changes between our agency and everything above us.
Recently, the MHP conducted a climate survey to address low morale and high turnover. The survey results showed 45% of respondents said they were not optimistic about leadership or the direction the agency was going. Those results were shared with a steering committee that included Montana State Trooper Alicia Bragg.
I was shocked that the numbers were as high as they were for people being discouraged about their jobs.
On March 29th, the Daily Montanan published the results of the survey. Bragg said she did not share the results with any member of the media, but did share them with her union.
Me sharing documents or us sharing documents with the union is a daily, weekly thing that we do year round. So the thought didn't even cross my mind to ask permission to share the document because the union is internal.
In April, Bragg was terminated from MHP. The union filed a complaint following Bragg's termination, stating this is a case of excessive punishment against a decorated officer. Bragg is a 10-year veteran with the Highway Patrol, having received multiple commendations.
For this to come out of the blue, straight to termination for me with no progressive discipline at all, that is still worrisome to a lot of troopers.
The Department of Justice, which oversees the Montana Highway Patrol, denies these claims, stating Trooper Bragg was dismissed for violating a direct order not to disseminate the document.
They told us in the first meeting of the steering committee not to share it, but to me, there's no daylight between the troopers and the union, where the troopers make up the union.
We asked the DOJ for a comment, and a spokesperson said, "We do not comment on personnel matters." The DOJ maintains Bragg's actions were a clear violation of orders and asserts that there was no interference with union communication or ongoing contract negotiations. The survey was publicly funded, and the document Bragg shared contained no personal information of troopers or leadership.
Someone asked me if I regretted my decision at all, and absolutely not. I needed to make sure that the troopers are taken care of, and I still want the troopers taken care of.